G'day. Chris here, Real Adam 140. Now, you may have noticed something different. I'm dressed slightly differently than normally, slightly more casual. There's a reason for that. I'd also like to point out that that's not a knife. That's a knife.
This is a knife.
This is a knife. Sorry, I made a balls of it. Anyway, you get the point of the gag, or you would do if you had any notion of popular culture in about 1987. The reason I'm wearing a vest, or a, what do they call it over there? A wife beater, or a singlet, possibly they may call it, is because today I'm looking at an Australian beer. It's Cooper's Brewery Sparkling Ale. All the way from Australia. Not brewed under licence, nothing like that. Comes from brewed and bottled by Cooper's Brewery Limited, Forster Sacker, Regent's Park, SA. What's SA? Australia. I don't know where that is. It's in Australia. Anyway. Now I know that this is one of the last, from reading the blurb on the website, it's one of the last family owned breweries. It's been owned for generations by the same family. So they pride themselves on their quality control, and something quite decent should come of this. There's quite a lot of sediment in the bottle of this, and it's in a 375ml bottle. So let's open it up, see where we go. Ooh, not wishing to open it up. There we go. So it's a sparkling ale. What are we getting? Sorry, I'm going to take this off, it's really warm. Well, we're getting an ale that's quick moving, highly carbonated. It's not much of a head. Almost strikes me as lagerish in terms of appearance. No, it does strike me as lagerish in terms of appearance, especially with the fizz like that. Get my nose in there. Now, what I was kind of expecting with this, because it's New World, I was kind of expecting New World hops to be present. Sparkling ale, well, you know, didn't know what to read into that. It's not something I'm familiar with from you know, going to the shops in the UK particularly. It's certainly sparkling. Sparkling is way all up the glass, but I don't know. It's lager coloured. I would suggest. You know, golden, coppery, kind of, you know, around there. Slight hit of malt. Slight hint of quite pedestrian fruits. I was going to tuck in and tell you what I think of it. Cheers. Or Bonza, or whatever it is they say over there. Okay. First thing, the carbonation is quite harsh, quite zippy. That's going to make me want to burp very soon, I feel. Doesn't give you much of a chance to kind of let it sink into your mouth and really get a hold of the flavour, especially if you have a big gulp of it. One thing I should have mentioned, it comes in at 5.8%, I think. Where's it bloody gone? 5.8%. So, not one to be messed with. Excuse me. It reminds me slightly of the kind of beers that you get from some of the more kind of Far East beers. And some of those lagers as well. It has some of those same flavours in there. It tastes like a cross between a lager and a beer.
Yes.
And I can see how this would be very refreshing if you were gonna, if you've been suffering in, well, I don't know if they suffer because they live in it all the time, but if you've been sat in 100-degree heat all day, as we're likely to be doing this weekend in the UK, hotter than Sahara here apparently. I could see that one of these would be pretty refreshing. The fruit is apple-y. I'm going to say apple. I'm thinking more Golden Delicious than I am Granny Smith. It's not sharp. It's not a big kind of
smells apple-y.
Bitter flavour. Is there?
I think it smells cidery, although it doesn't taste it.
The wife thinks it smells cidery. I think it tastes apple-y.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Possibly, yeah. I certainly taste the apples. I don't necessarily get them in the nose. Okay. Well, Bruce. The bitter in there isn't abiding. It's not a long-standing bitterness. It's there. It's gone. You're actually left with more of a malty quality right at the end than you are with an overriding kind of bitter hit. It's the first Australian beer I've had. Correct me if I'm wrong, Australian people. Although I've noticed there's no Australians currently viewing this channel, so get on with it. Start watching the channel. People all over Europe are, so you should join them. You're probably related to some of them in the dim distant. I'll try a bit more. Okay. When would I want this? I think I've already said when. I think the only time I'd probably want this is a long hot day. Not long to relax. And the reason that comes in this small bottle is because you're not going to be able to keep it cold for long. I've popped this in the fridge for a bit, and it's easy to keep a beer cold in the UK. It's not easy in Australia, unless you've got a fridge. Some of them have, I understand now. The last couple of years. Oh God, excuse me. Alright, well I'm not. Excuse me. Oh, bloody hell. It's quite fizzy. Yeah, I'll give it that. Not sure what the advantage of that is. Bloody hell. Okay, a rating. It's quite crisp. It has a nice apple-y flavour in there. It's a bit like a pale ale. Some of the more pedestrian pale ales that I've had from the UK, but fizzier and maybe slightly crisper. Less of the malt, but there is a malt presence in there definitely. I'm going to go with 7.5. It's decent, and I can see why they've imported it, and it's important that we all get to try stuff from all over the world and see what we all think of stuff, and I'm sure there's plenty of Australians over here. If one of them comes over here and we give them recommendations of what to try here. Same goes the other way. I understand that Coopers do a stout. I don't know if Waitrose have got their hands on that yet, but I'd be keen to give that a go and see what the Australian take on stout is like. If you're keen to comment and you are watching this from Australia, then let me know what you think of the stout, and if I can find it, I'll give it a go. Anyway, I'm going to go and drink the rest of this and burp my face off. Take care and cheers. Or what do Australians say? Good day. They say that for goodbye and hello, I think. Anyway, goodbye.